Hey guys, this is my over analyzation of Red Dead Redemption 2. I have a lot of issues with this game, and if you're an Arthur Morgan fan, Arthur Morgan stan, Arthur Morgan lover, this video is not for you. Like, I'm about to really berate this man and like show his contradictories and mishaps. Just the writing is not the best cohesively with him. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm gonna start. Arthur Morgan is not a good guy, right? No matter which way you go on the morality meter, left or right, good or bad, narratively, the way the game plays, you're just still doing bad stuff, regardless of whether or not in free roam you save someone or you stop something or you get a little charm thing that shows you got honor. Arthur's just not a good guy. And in the game Red Dead Redemption 2, I guess the underlying theme in this game is redemption. I'm a big fan of the first one. So in the second game, I'm not very convinced in Arthur's redemption or just redemption in this game at all. They have you do really, really bad things, and Arthur, basically by the end of the game or very early into the game, you already make your opinions about Arthur that this man is either a borderline sociopath or he just really has no integrity about the things that he does. You know what I mean? I think it can be argued that if Dutch said to kill this person, Arthur would do it. He might have questions or something, but he'd still do it. And it's really scary that you get to play as this guy, you know? Very early in the game, you get to beat up a guy, a debtor, yeah, Thomas Downs, right? Strauss sends you over to go beat up Thomas Downs because they owe you money. I don't know about you guys, but Arthur's a really big guy. He's a very scary dude. Um, I don't know what he's doing taking orders from Strauss. Like, no, that's just not happening. If Arthur wouldn't take orders from Sean or John, I don't think he would take orders from Strauss. Now, if Dutch told him, go do this for me, now we have something, you know what I mean? Arthur is not even loyal to Dutch, he's obedient to Dutch. I want everyone to understand that now. It's very much advertised. He's loyal to a fault, this, that, and the third. They advertise Arthur as this really loyal dude and will do anything for the gang. No, he's obedient. Very, very obedient. He's trained to listen to what Duchess says, to what Dutch says. No ifs, ands, or buts. Do not question what I say. And what really upsets me the most about this game is Arthur is a guy who's a bad guy, but he's a bad guy for a specific reason. Arthur had a son named Isaac who went a fishing trip with Jack. He begins to talk about. There's a video by a YouTuber named Fishy, I think, Fizhy on YouTube. He goes all into depth with it. He talks to Eagle Flies about it too. Arthur does. His son Isaac. Isaac, I mean Arthur is a guy who is bad by circumstance, I believe, right? He was raised into this. He was basically raised by Dutch. But what really hardened him, made him a really bad criminal, bad man, is the fact that he lost his son by people who do the things that he does. You know, kill, rob, steal, murder, do all these bad things. The moral of Arthur's story when he opens up and tells Rainsfall about this is that you can't be a bad person and good things happen to you, right? If Arthur is a man who understands this, When Hosea dies in chapter 4 or 5, I think it is. Chapter 4, because chapter 5 is Gorman. Chapter 4, that should have been another catalyst in Arthur to either have done the right thing or to be even worse right then and there. I believe that that is the only logical reason for Arthur to have a redemption, not him being diagnosed with tuberculosis by beating a man half to death. Um, I think that all of Guarma should have been Arthur questioning every single one of Dutch's actions. Why did you leave Javier behind, Dutch? Why did you kill? Why are we going through this cave, Dutch? Why are we fighting these people, Dutch? It should have been question after question after question after question. I don't want to wait until Arthur gets back and has a panic attack and a panic coughing attack in the street for him to go to the doctor, and the doctor's like, "You got tuberculosis, son." Oh wow, I have tuberculosis. Now I think I'm going to become a better person. I just don't think life works out like that. For this game to be as realistic and as immersive as it is, there's no way I think a criminal would just who believes that this is his way of life, who justifies this as his right and what he does is not particularly sin. I just don't think out of nowhere being diagnosed with tuberculosis is going to make him a good person at all. Arthur's redemption should have started chapters ago. If they wanted us to just be a bad guy and play as a bad guy, what they truly should have done was just switched Arthur with Bill. I would have rather play as Bill, just a bad guy who knows he's doing bad, but is just extremely loyal to Dutch because this guy, quote unquote, saved me. The game could have been, if not better, just as good. Mostly because there is no redemption. I would have rather seen Arthur as an NPC helping John. I would have loved to be Bill as Arthur during Chapter 6 at Beaver Hollow, seeing Arthur and Sadie come back with John, and Bill being around Micah and Dutch, just gasping in amazement, like, "Oh my God, Arthur did this!" It would have painted Arthur in such a cooler light because this entire game, Arthur's extremely. I don't know about you guys, but Arthur's attitude toward everything sucks. Arthur doesn't want to help John get off the mountain, or anytime anything has to be done, anybody asks him to do anything, he's just pretty upset to do it. Um, Taking Jack to go fish, he says to Abigail, "Why? Because I'm your preferred nursemaid." This dude's attitude is so sour. You know, if Arthur is supposed to be, I guess, like a hero per se, or even an anti-hero, they really should have just made him an NPC. I feel like Hosea and Lenny's are tragic because we didn't see it coming. You know what I mean? They were doing bad things. They were robbing and killing beside us, but we weren't. We, the player, weren't doing it. If that makes any sense. You know what I mean? Hosea's death is a tragedy because it's like, oh my God, it feels like Hosea isn't even a bad guy. What? It doesn't even feel like Lenny's a bad guy. Arthur is a bad guy. I would have much rather us see Arthur in the background, being around John, making wisecracks and stuff like that, rather than me, the player, be that guy. You know what I mean? I would have really loved Bill and Javier go rescue John, right? And when John comes back, Arthur being the first one or one of the few sitting by his bed next to Abigail and Jack. You know, I would have loved just seeing their interactions because it's already known that Bill doesn't like John. You know, what is the point of creating honestly, Rockstar, what is the point of creating yet another person in the gang who doesn't like John? We already knew John was the outcast of the group because he was the killer with the code and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Arthur, on the other hand, it really doesn't for the most part. What does he say? I'm not a paid killer as such. I guess you'd be a paid killer if you robbed a bank in Valentine, which you did. That's a killer who just got paid right then and there. The morality meter in the game is just all around pretty bad, I believe. I would have rather them brought the fame meter back. Arthur Morgan has a $5,000 bounty on his head. That's canon. Arthur's pretty freaking famous, you know? The morality meter really is there to either give your Peacemaker a cool grip or your double action revolver a cool grip, or give you the preferred ending for your character, which who really cares? You know what I mean? You're telling me, the main message of this game is if you are a bad person, maybe you'll be let off the hook by a semi peaceful death. Tuberculosis doesn't seem any kind of good. You know what I mean? And in each ending, Dutch walks away from you, the guy who was by your side the entire time. I would have really enjoyed seeing Arthur as an NPC do bad with us or just be in missions with us doing bad. And toward the end of the game, as circumstances change, as circumstances get worse, he become a better person. You know, that would have made Arthur's story so much more interesting because then now I'd be invested in Arthur Morgan. Maybe I'd like to see who this guy was before everything had a downfall. You know, I feel like there wasn't enough time on Arthur Morgan in this game because really the story of Red Dead Redemption is John's story, and I feel in the second game, introducing a new character was just kind of like a hit or miss. Some people love him and some people hate him, and I'm just kind of in between on him, really. I would have rather played as Bill and seen the gang through his eyes, and then maybe us get a backstory on Arthur. That would have been really cool, seeing how he became who he did, seeing this anti hero, you know. Another big thing that I really dislike about this game is they tried to paint Micah as the bad guy when, I mean, the way you play Arthur, he's way worse than Micah. Truly, truly, the worst thing that Micah honestly did was be a rat. And I'm sorry, but if we're drawing moral lines and what's right and what's wrong, being a rat is probably like the better things of all the things the gang has done. Even Micah, there's a camp interaction where even Micah is just like usury, you know, beating people, loan sharking. That's even I wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's something even Micah wouldn't do, but Arthur did. It's just kind of like, damn, even Micah has standards where Arthur's just kind of like, if it pays, the money's good, you know? That's not a very redeeming quality in any hero or anti hero, I believe. And it's just like, I feel like if Arthur were painted in that light as an NPC where we got to see his actions and didn't do his actions, it would have really set up, it would have truly set up his redemption, you know? We would have seen his redemption through Bill's eyes. And I feel like that's a big thing in the second game. They really, I don't think they have very much faith in the gamer to assess what's happening or like take in the information that's being expressed through the game. They kind of have to beat you over the head with certain things. I don't care how many times Sister Calderon says it. I don't care how many times um, Reverend Swanson says it. Arthur is not a good man, no matter how many times they tell me that he is. Literally, before I did this mission with you guys, I just I just robbed a guy and I killed him because he didn't try to give me the money. And you're saying because I helped somebody, I'm a good person? It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. For 6 chapters of the game, I've been robbing and killing people just cause basically I can and I've been told to. And you're telling me I'm a good person now? I don't think so. What I truly like most about the game is though the similarities that they make between Bill and Arthur. The only difference is Arthur might be prettier than Bill and heterosexual. That's really it. Bill and Arthur have so many similarities. It's not even funny. Even the game, they make jokes like, "Oh, how Bill's like, how come I get called dumb when I shoot up a town or blah blah blah. Blah. Oh, it's for you with you. It's just one of them things." It's just like as as good as a company Rockstar is. I'm really curious how they just didn't give us Bill Williamson to play as. You know what I mean? I just don't get it. I just don't. I truly, I truly think they kind of squandered the opportunity of giving um, us Arthur as a as a main character. You know what I mean? He's not established in the first game, and you know, even as you play the second game, the people from the first game get painted even better. You know, you get. I think even if you play this game loving Arthur Morgan, you walk away from this game thinking Dutch is so badass and John is so badass and Bill is so funny and misunderstood but badass and Javier is so cool and how did he still side with Dutch? Like I feel like if we just played as someone else who was not Arthur Morgan, I wouldn't have this view of Arthur Morgan that I do. You know, Arthur could have been just painted in a different light and a better one that would just suit him better in the future of this franchise. I really would have liked to see um, Arthur as an NPC. And I'm more than positive there's evidence too. I've seen some videos on YouTube and stuff like that. It's like you aim a gun at Arthur and Arthur's like, not good. And just certain things, man. I feel like there's just something. I just feel like Arthur Morgan needed more time in development. That's just me. But these are just my thoughts, guys. Leave comments down below. Sorry for ruining your favorite game and your favorite video game protagonist.